You are a silly goose.
That's silly. All right.
Hi!
Hey,
Welcome
boy.
to my kitchen. Today we are going to make egg white cupcakes. So every week we spend one day, usually Sunday, where we prep meals for the entire week. And my husband really likes these egg cupcakes, so I'm going to make them for you today. I found this recipe online, and over time we've just changed it a lot. So I encourage you to experiment with your own cheeses and vegetables, or even get fancy and throw meat in there. Okay, so I preheat the oven to 350, and then I greased my cupcake pan. I recommend using soft butter, because if you use oil or really melted butter, then it's not going to come out of the pan nice. So I take one stalk of kale and I remove the veiny part, this big part right here, basura, and then I just try to chop it up really fine, and this is after I've greased the pan. So after I chop this up, I'm going to just distribute the kale into the different cupcake pans. I used to put everything in the bowl together, but it just ended up being a pain in the tuchus and not really working out the way I wanted it to work out. So, yay, we chopped up the kale, and this is for a dozen egg cupcakes. And that's from when I greased my pan, so I just kind of boop, distribute the kale in the bottom of the pan. The kids are trying to make a mess at the same time. Welcome to Woodruff Family Meal Prep. Okay, yay, so there's all of our kale, pretty evenly distributed. And then to give it some extra yummy pop, we put in some feta as well. So, a little sprinkle here and there. I hear you, buddy. Poor Flynn over here is running a low-grade fever and doesn't feel very well. So bear with us while we do this. But hey, this is what it's all about. And this is why we meal prep too, because it gets crazy with these two guys. And it can be difficult to just stop what you're doing and make healthy meals. Right, Pepper?
Yeah.
Right, and you like these cupcakes too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we have our feta sprinkled. You rinse here. And now we'll actually prepare our egg white concoction that we'll pour over all of this. So I take one of the smaller jugs of the egg whites. This is 16 ounces, and this works perfectly. So shake it up really good. And then honestly, in the past, I've always just, when adding my spices, guessed. And just been like, oh, this looks good, I'll put this much in. But today, I'm gonna use a half a teaspoon, and we'll see how much I actually put in. So I use 16 ounces, yes, 16 ounces of the egg whites, and then I take some Frank's hot sauce. You could probably use whatever hot sauce makes you happy. And I do 15 shakes. Yum, okay. And I sprinkle some salt, not too much. And some white pepper. So what I do is I buy my spices in the bulk section at Sprouts, and then when I come home, yeah, hot sauce. When I come home, I put them in baby food jars that have been cleaned out. So that's white pepper, and I think I probably used about 1/4 of a teaspoon. This is garlic powder. About 1/4 of a teaspoon, if not a half a teaspoon. And I have onion powder too. Same thing. About 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then I'm going to mix it up really well with pepper under my foot. Stir it up. And then pour it in. So just try to evenly disperse all the goodness. Okay, great. So we have our oven preheating, and I'm going to cook it at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. And then when the timer goes off, I'll just take a fork to the top and kind of wiggle it just to make sure it's cooked all the way through. And voila, that's it. Bye.